Hi, everyone. I am Kristen Goss, founder and owner of KWG Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys. Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a great journey. We are Civility Wins, Family Law Edition. We will be bringing on different guests throughout special needs consultants or educational consultants talking about children with special needs. We will be talking about the collaborative law process and bringing on other professionals discussing things such as asset protection for business owners and just providing education for those out there who are in need. We are here to promote civility in the professional arena, and we look forward to having you in this journey with us. Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Goss. I am the founder and owner of KWG Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, gracious, and warm attorneys, and we are here for another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. And I have joined with me my great friend and colleague, Thabatta Mahi. She is an educational consultant. So, Tabitha, can you introduce yourself and tell a little about yourself?
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. So I'm a special needs consultant, educational consultant, however however you want to say it. What would you like to know?
Well, first, because what I want to discuss today is more so on the special needs side, speaking of special needs, um, children of special needs, and how your work is so vital in ensuring that they are set up for success. So, what is an educational consultant? Let's start with that.
It's a great question. Consultant by definition really is just somebody giving professional advice on an area of expertise. My area of expertise is education. I've been in the field of education in one capacity or another for over close to 25 years now. And you know, my specialty is special needs, or actually my degree per se is called exceptional education, K through 12, and it's called exceptional because it really ranges from one end to the other. So gifted, a diagnosis, all the way through all the different areas of special needs. So really, what that means is that I can help cater to families, professionals in the field of education, and most recently, since 2020, I've been working in the field of collaborative. So my three niches, so to speak, is to help families, help educators, and then help collaborative professionals. And that really can look very different depending on what the needs are, but the idea behind it really, and what propelled me towards becoming an educational consultant, is really just because I felt that I could do more outside of the confines of the school building in advocating, helping people collaborate, helping educate, people in terms of bringing people together, helping families in times of need, and really helping elevate educators to see the bigger picture and to really see how the area of special needs or special education really does have best practices that can be brought into general education, can be brought into just educational philosophy in general, and then sharing that with families to help them be the best advocates for their children. And in the area of collaborative, bringing that into a really difficult time in these families, lives, and how those ideas and those skills can be of help to them during that time.
That's awesome. And I want to talk about the collaborative process because that's how you and I met. But before getting into that, I want to know what prompted you to become an educational consultant.
Wow. So I think it really was, I had jumped into it for a little bit. I dabbled in it a little bit when I moved to Brazil before my kids were born. And really, it was also like very unplanned. I kind of went there we were recently married. I went there to be closer to my family. We wanted to start our own family, but also be close to family. And I didn't want to jump into a job per se in a school environment. And I was asked to speak at a conference, And I was approached by a school that said, "Would you consult for us?" And I said, "Sure." And that's how the consultant role kind of came about. And I realized in doing that, and I worked as that for 6 years while I was living in Brazil, and I realized that there was something about the voice coming or the ideas coming from outside of the building, somebody who was really being paid to tell them the whole truth. No politics aside, I was there to give them the raw truth of where they needed to fix the issues, how they had to tweak certain things to best serve the children in that building and the families that were there. Um, and there was something very powerful about that, about really representing the truth. And I came back to the United States and went back into school leadership and all of that. And around 2019, I realized I needed to step away again. My philosophies haven't changed. What I'm advocating for hasn't changed. Those who I'm serving hasn't changed. But there is something, again, about stepping back into that consultant role, about being brought in, whether it's by a family or by the school, and then being told, like, just give it to me straight. What is it that we need to fix? What are we not seeing? Because the truth is, sometimes when we're working all together under a building, it becomes an echo chamber. And you don't want to challenge each other so much. There's politics involved. When you bring somebody else who's there to give you the the cold hard truth, and that really resonates with me. Let's lay it out. Let's figure out what we can fix so that we can serve who we need to serve.
I love it. I love it. I would just like to say thank you. For those of you who aren't aware, Thabatta and I met through the collaborative process. And prior to meeting Thabatta, I had no clue what an educational consultant was. Thanks to Thabatta, I am becoming more educated. And specifically, I am a wife, a mother of 3 beautiful daughters, one with special needs. And just recently having to overcome feeling defeat, stressed, like you're not empowered. You want to advocate to the best of your ability for your child who you love so dearly, but you don't know where to go or where to turn. And so the reason why I have Thabatta here is to spread the word. If there's anyone out there who is a parent of a child or children with special needs, someone like Thabatta is really key to ensure that your child with special needs is set up for success. So thank you so much for being a friend and a colleague and helping me navigate personally for my daughter.
Thank you. And I think you hit really on the key, and the key of what drives me. It's empowering the parents, and by doing that, you automatically empower the children, right? Because our children look to us, and if we seem to feel that sense of like, we got this, like this is okay, this is different, but it's still okay. And that when parents feel empowered, you give that sense of security to children. And really, I mean, that's really why I do what I do.
It's very, very important and instrumental. When it comes to collaborative law, we'll talk a little bit about that. For those of you who don't know, collaborative law and the process is an alternative to litigation. As a family attorney, we're trained to litigate, go to court, fight. The collaborative process is different. It's similar to mediation in a sense where we're resolving outside of court, but it's a bit different because as a family attorney, I'm able to advocate for my clients, but just in a different way. We're more interest-based, resolution-focused, and we bring on a team of professionals such as Thabatta when it's needed to ensure that the family, again, is set up for success. So I want to talk a little bit about that and how you and I can work together, me on the family law side when I have a family that I'm trying to help resolve, and there's another attorney on the other side representing the other spouse in a divorce, for example. How can you come in when there are children with special needs in a collaborative law process?
So my role as an educational consultant is of an allied professional or affiliate professional. There's different terms for it, but the idea is that I would be brought on during a certain time in the process, in the collaborative process, not necessarily for the entirety of the process, for key points where I would be needed for specific um, a specific purpose during the collaborative process. And in this case, if the families have children or adults for that matter, right? Because children with special needs grow up to be adults with special needs, that need a really a different lens in terms of what those needs have to be, or what the roles of the parents have to be as the family unit transforms during this time in their lives. It's ideal to bring somebody in who can ask the questions that the professionals around the table may not know to ask, and or the parents may not know to ask either, right? Maybe in the most ideal of circumstances, the parents would know to ask, but remember, this is high stress, right? This is turmoil in their lives, so they may not be thinking a year down the road, 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road. They're thinking tomorrow. What's happening this week, right? What are the big decisions? And the professionals around the table may be used to asking a certain set of questions and may not know to ask other things, or to help prep the family. And what's unique about families that have children or adults with special needs is that it takes years to build the team of professionals that is the right fit for the family. So that's kind of sometimes where I come in as an educational consultant for families that are maybe the child is recently diagnosed, or finding the right therapist or the right school, or the whatever the needs are, right? The doctors, the neurologist, or whatever those are, finding the right fit, the right professional that really meets the needs, the personality, the chemistry of that family. It takes years to build that. So when the family unit starts, to unravel, keeping that team together is really key. And in every family, the parents have different roles, right, or take on different roles. So maybe there was one parent that was really in charge of navigating all the therapies and making sure that everybody had the set schedule and the financial pieces and the driving around and figuring out what time everybody's schedule works together. And then all of a sudden, the other parent who had never been involved in that piece now all of a sudden has to be involved. Or maybe they needed to have behavior training because they knew all the nuances of all the things that the behavior therapist taught them, and the other parent really wasn't involved in that piece, and now all of a sudden they need to be involved, or they have the 50-50 split, and they all of a sudden are in charge of things they've never been in charge of. So figuring out how to navigate that, like, how do I catch up with all this knowledge? How do I attend these meetings now at school that I've never been part of before? Or what do I have to look out for? Maybe there's also somebody new in the parents' lives. There's a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever it is, or the siblings, step brothers and sisters. They have to figure out how to navigate those pieces as well. So again, bringing everybody together and figuring out how to ask the right questions during that time is really key. And I would say that we started off by saying that we were talking before about the difficult conversations. Sometimes during the collaborative process, because we're so keen on, keeping the conversation going and keeping things, peaceful, right? So you may say it's counterintuitive to ask certain questions that might, rock the boat. But really, my role is we have to ask those questions, because right now everybody's at the table together. Everybody is sitting and with the support of all these incredible professionals that are here to help you navigate these difficult conversations. So now is the time to make these decisions, to ask these difficult questions, so that we can set the family in whatever unit it looks like, or whatever reality is to come, and the children, of course, for success in the future.
I love that. And to piggyback off of what you're saying, it's that healthy confrontation that's necessary, to ensure, like you said, the success. I want to change up the topic a little bit, but still for special needs focused. So KWG, our law firm, we also help families who want to create a legacy not only for themselves, but those they love most. And oftentimes, special needs trust is something that we help with on the legal side. And so I'm just curious if you've ever been involved in that process where you have a family of a special needs child and they're just thinking, in the future, this child is going to be an adult. We're going to have to get a special needs trust in place. Do you come on as an educational consultant in that particular arena to
So
ensure
I have
everything's
had clients that have begun to navigate that, once the children reach a certain age or they've reached a certain place in their lives that they're thinking about that. That is not my area of expertise, but obviously in the world of special needs, there are definitely professionals that do an incredible job. I've presented with Jordan Neifeld before, who that's, his area that's very near and dear to his heart. So there are definitely people that's their area of expertise. I think my role as an educational consultant is more like, once the children get to a certain age and we're thinking beyond high school age, beyond, we're looking at the future and we're talking about those things, it's to prompt them. Have you thought about this? These are some people that you can go to. For example, guardianship comes up a lot as well. That's another issue, not my area of expertise, but somebody like Rebecca Fisher, that's somebody who I would say, that this is somebody you need to speak to. So I guess my role is to remind the families, this is what you should be thinking about, or these are people that you need to contact to make sure that you're thinking about these things.
That's awesome. So you're a connector as well.
I like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Connect people to who they need to be connected to support them. Yeah. So that's all I had for you for today. But please let the audience know how they can contact you and reach you if they ever have any questions or want to consult with you.
Sure. So my website is thabattasm.com. My name is creatively spelled, so we'll put that somewhere. And really, I invite anybody to just call me, 305-744-6877. That's the best way to reach me, text me. And my email is also thabattasm@gmail.com. So any which way. But my website really does have a little bit more about me and a little bit more about what I do. And I guess I would just welcome, if you don't know if that's an area if that falls under that role of educational consultant, just ask, because if I don't do it, I'll be very honest, but I'll help connect you with somebody that does.
I know you will. I have true confidence in Tabitha. So, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you,
I
Kristen.
appreciate you. And thank you to the audience out there for viewing another episode of Civility Wins, Family Law Edition. Again, I'm Kristen Goss. I am the founder of KWG, Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys. So tune in next time, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our channels. Hi again, I'm Kristen Goss. I am the founder and owner of KWG, Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys. Thank you again for tuning in for another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. See you next time.